dialysis till she got a transplant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too up on the healthcare system.
No, healthcare system is,
Broken.
Basically, doctors are computers, and all they do is put in the information you give them, push a button, oh, give them this medicine.
yeah,
That's all they do.
that's what's happening. And a lot of people, so here's, by the way, welcome. I've actually had quite a bit of clients who are doctors and ex-doctors come in. And we've done a lot of talking, and what's happening is the pharmacies are, if you've noticed, there's a lot of new drugs coming out. It's a lot of new stuff. There's breaking stuff. What's happening is the internet now, there's so much research on these that people can just jump on and see what they're taking and actually what's happening. Well, now that people are actually educated on the drugs, they're not taking it. So what they're doing is actually bringing out new stuff that has no research on it so people can't study it and what's in it. So, and I will only say this in here, but a lot of the research that's been done in big pharma, some of you guys may believe in an adversary or Satan, other you guys may not, but that's who's got hold of big pharma.
That doesn't surprise me.
It's bad. It's pretty bad. There's been a lot of research, a lot of stuff done on it. A lot of clients are coming in who've been on medication for years. Fibromyalgia clients who've been on medication for years, 30 plus years, because now all the research is coming in on the medication they're taking, and the doctors are saying, well, you have no kidneys now, so you need to stop taking the medication. So these people are like, well, what are we supposed to take now? They're like, oh, we don't know, but good luck. So, and here's the thing, is I don't blame the doctors on this one, because that's how the doctors have been taught. They've learned medicine.
Yes.
However, what's cool is the younger generation of medical doctors coming up, they're less pro-surgery, they're less giving out medicine, and they're actually going more into a holistic state that they're, especially the ones down here. I've actually had a lot of people who we've talked to, and they're like, my doctor has actually acknowledged what you're doing, that it's working, and they say keep going, which is unheard of.
Oh, I know.
Some are even becoming more educated on more natural processes,
more
which some of
natural
the older
processes.
doctors
They're not.
just call you
Now
quack for
the
trying it.
old doctors who were more natural medicine that went and did home visits,
Oh, right.
they're good. Like, they've done the home visits and the remedies, put a tobacco pad on it, put some herbs on it. That's good. But there was that shift and of baby boomers right there that went to medical school where all of a sudden this quote unquote technology came out, that's all it is. And so now the younger doctors that are coming into it, my personal opinion, what I've heard, especially around St. George, is they're more educated on this stuff. There's more, but there's also more proof of what's going on. So doctors are getting educated. And one of the reasons, my personal belief is, doctors are just sick of getting sued. So they're like, we're gonna try all this other stuff before I have to go for surgery. My dad had double knee surgery. He needed it. He'd worn away out everything, and stuff like that. But there's a lot of doctors that are now, instead of saying, well, let's just go and get it fixed, they're understanding, hey, let's try shots and cortisone. They're trying to do different things before actually going under the knife. So in that aspect, I'm actually a little bit more hopeful. And the nice thing is I've had clients who I've worked on since they were young with their families who are now going into oncology and physical therapy, and they're actually becoming doctors. And I'm like, just remember what you've learned here. They're like, that's one of the reasons why I want to go into the medical field, is to start changing it. So a lot of people are going into medicine now, the younger kids are going into medicine to try and change and get it back. So we're hopeful, and really here's the thing, is most doctors, they want their clients So I'm gonna put a plug in for this. We've got insurance called Christian Healthcare Ministries, okay? It's like a share program, it's not real insurance, but it is insurance. Anyway, what's cool about that is when you go to a doctor, you can formulate a plan with your doctor based on what your needs are and what they want to do, instead of what an insurance company tells the doctors to do. So, the medical profession is not broken. The insurance companies have a really tight grip on the doctors. Okay, and I've worked on a lot of doctors that we've talked about it, and I'm like, well, you tried this and this and this, and they're like, yeah, but the people that come in and see me, their insurance company tells me what I can do and what I can charge. And that's a lot of people ask me, well, why don't you bill insurance companies? And, you know, and the thing is, I worked with a chiropractor who that's what it is. The insurance companies would tell me how much I can charge my clients, and that's it. So, and then so let's say the insurance company says, we'll only pay you $55. You cannot charge your other people the other $55 to get to where you are. Is called a double billing, and that's fraud. And there's a lot of chiropractors, and there's a lot of people who've gotten in trouble. It's called medical insurance fraud. That's what happens. So they come in.
So it's not necessarily trying to be honest, they're just trying to get what they're fairly owed.
Yeah, and so if you look at chiropractors, especially chiropractors, they have all this fancy equipment now. Chiropractors are getting into the almost the weight loss, medical, physical therapy side of things. The reason why I have all this fancy equipment now that only physical therapists used to have is so they can actually charge what's going on. So they can put them on a, what are those? A decompression chamber. They put them on a decompression chamber, a massage vibrator bed. They've got 4 or 5 things that they go through, and then when they get to the office, they just adjust them. Well, the adjustment, the insurance will only pay $35 to $40 on. But these big machines that are coming out, that's where they're making a couple $100 to $300 because that's what's going on. So, and how do I know this? Because I've got a lot of clients who know a lot. And so we've had a lot of discussions, and I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. I've also had chiropractors come in and everything else that as I explain this to them, they're like, gosh, that makes a lot of sense. I wish I would have known that when I was actually practicing chiropractic care. So, you know, I talked to a lot of people. The medical system is not broken. The medical system is actually pretty good. There's a lot of lives saved because of medicine. It's the insurance companies that, like, you know, people who are in car accidents and blah, 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 and trauma and ERs and ICUs and stuff like that. There's a lot of people that are living because of doctors and medicine. What really the medical field is broken off of is people who are in chronic pain. Chronic sickness, chronic pain, they just don't feel good. That's where the medical system is failing, and that's where the insurance company is failing, because one thing the doctors just don't know. They just don't know. That's why, if you notice, there's a lot of pain management. There's a lot of pain management
Popping up everywhere. Like 7-Elevens.
Yeah, they are. They're like 7-Elevens. They are exactly like 7-Elevens. Like, it's pain management, pain management, pain management. There's a lot, and what people are going into is it's basically what the doctors used to do in their offices. Cortisone shots and all this other stuff. So the doctor's now referring all these people to pain management. And, you know, I tell people all the time when they come in, they're like, well, what about this and this? How come these shots didn't work? I go, look at the title. And they're like, well, what are you talking about? I go, they're pain management. They're not, get out of pain. It's not healing management. You know, it's all this other stuff. And they go, oh, I go, where? I go, if you look from a medical side, that's pain management. If you look from a holistic side, it's like, well, let's cure you. It's a healing to pain management. And they're just like, oh. And before, those two things used to be really kind of close together. They're not close together anymore. It's like holistic, and it's like medicine. And they're getting a wider and wider gap. The nice thing is the medical doctors are starting to see progress in their patients through holistic care. So now doctors are actually starting to go over to that. That's one of the things. One, I'm going to put a plug. That's why I love doTERRA. Is doTERRA is avid about getting into doctors and educating doctors. That's what's been happening in here the last 3 months. I've had 4 clients who are doctors who have come in, and we've talked about this, and they go, that makes a lot of sense. Dentists, TMJ, all these people who studied under medical stuff are now starting, when clients come in, they're starting to refer them over here. Because it makes sense how it's educated, how it's said, how it's communicated. That's our job, is to communicate is important, to educate and to reschedule people.
So all this holistic, have any of you seen Barbara O'Neill's videos on YouTube? She's a natural path nutritionist from Australia. She's got some really great,
Yeah.
great stuff.
And there's a lot of,
a whole slew
yeah.
of videos, and it's just, she blew me away with some things. It's
Yeah.
like, whoa.
and that's what's happening, is there's so much information out there. Like, this information can now get out for people to educate themselves on. Like ketones, like, isogenics, people that are just like natural, holistic, doTERRA, whatever it is. And I have people that are coming in like, well, this works for me and this worked for me, but this didn't. Great, keep going. Keep going with whatever is working. As you guys as therapists, energy work doesn't work for me in here. Okay, it just doesn't work for me. Do I believe in it? Absolutely. Have I done some? I have, but it doesn't work for me in this office, in this space. It might work for you guys better than it works for me to incorporate that. Okay? And so what I've really noticed, and we're going to go a little bit spiritual here, is I don't even know how to describe it. I'm reading a book. Can we go spiritual? You guys okay with this? Good. Because then we're going to do Trey, the newly married man.
Not yet.
What?
Not yet?
No.
June 14th.
It changed.
Oh.
So sorry.
That's all right.
So when?
Still the same girl though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I just ran into somebody the other day. I'm like, weren't you supposed to be married? She was like, yeah, I called it off.
Oh.
So I'm like,
Better do it before the
better do
wedding.
it before you.
Yeah.
Not that you're going to, but I'm just saying. But welcome. Anyway, I'm reading a book. It's called it makes sense. In our lives, we have our first act and we have our second act. Okay? The first act, things go really, really well. There's lots of stuff that happens. And in all of our lives, and I'm starting to figure this out with a lot of people, there is what is called the valley of the shadow of death. We've all gone through something so pressurized that it's a wonder if it's where we kind of get humble, we find ourselves. Some people call it a come to Jesus meeting.
Dark night of the soul.
Dark night of the soul, whatever it is. We've all gone there, and this is what's happening. Oh, I'm so glad I'm talking to you guys about this. This is what's happening right now. I think the whole world is going through this valley of the shadow of death, whatever it is. Everybody's trying to probably get to their second act here, because there's a lot of people going through stuff. So in this book, it talks about this place where either people get into it, and as they get into it, to humble themselves, and then to actually get out, they become better people, and that's where more knowledge and increase happens, abundance of money and wealth and relationships and everything else. They said the problem is a lot of people go into this valley after their first act, and they never get out of there to do their second act. They stay in this shadow because they just have not decided, or they choose to be like, okay, what's going on? That's where I've been the last 24 months. Well, actually, I gotta tell you, this is where I've been since this apprenticeship has started in November. I thought, this is gonna be awesome, and we're gonna go to this level. No, I was pushed down. I'm like, all right, you know, cloudy heads, not wanting to do this, like, just there's been a lot of crap. Just gonna go through that. But there's been a lot of pressure, where what's finally happening is hopefully, quote unquote, I'm actually starting to come out of it and see a little bit clearer now of what is expected of me in this position. And I think that's what's happening with a lot of other people. Anyway, it's the second act really is where you choose what you're gonna do. And for you guys, and I got this impression last night, there's something great that's supposed to happen with you guys. What it is, I don't know. What's gonna happen this weekend, I don't know. But I was just sitting there, and I was just like, all right, you know, was on my knees praying, hey, this is gonna be a great class tomorrow, da da da. And all of a sudden, I just got this really big impression that you guys somehow are gonna change the world. Why? Don't know. How? Don't know. But
Do we know that?
Huh?
Do we know that? Yes, we do.
Yeah, you know it. So, so we're gonna kind of talk a little bit more. The one thing I have learned about doing my next class, my next apprenticeship program, we're not gonna do anything in July because everybody's on vacation in July. So today we've got people to work on. Tomorrow, you guys are gonna be able to work on yourselves a lot all day long. Tomorrow we're gonna talk about, tomorrow is gonna be real good. We're gonna talk about business, we're gonna talk about marketing, we're gonna talk about, you know, just a lot of questions that way. So we're gonna do a lot of mentoring principles and really getting the brain's creativity going with working on each other as well. Okay, so is there anything else? Anybody have any questions? You guys all doing good? Doing good? Everybody doing good? Good. Welcome to St. George for those who have traveled.
Where it's nice and warm.
It is nice and warm.
It's going to get plenty hot down here. In fact, I think it's funny, until tomorrow it's supposed to be the hottest days in St. George. So after this, go jump in a cold pool. If you need to jump in the ice bucket right over there, just don't stick your feet into it, please. And we'll be good that way. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we've got people coming at 11. So we're going to go, usually we have you guys work on each other before, and then we go lunch, and then people come afterwards. We're not doing that today. So we got people coming at 11, and then, so we'll go 11 to 12:15, and then we got people coming from 12:30 to 1:45. We'll eat lunch from about 2 to 3 today, and then there's more people coming in the afternoon after lunch. And I think we'll get done right about 6 today. Tomorrow, it looks like we're probably going to be done about an hour early at 5. If you guys are all right with that. Unless you want to stay and talk or work on each other. And then Friday, it's kind of the same schedule. You guys we don't have as many on Friday either. One is because I forget it's 24th of July yesterday, and I think a lot of people have family reunions this week. We've called a lot of people are, oh, I'd love to. I'm out of town. So, it's good to know. It's good to know. We're gonna need people in here, in town, when we do this. So what we're gonna do today is we're going to actually test you guys out and see what you guys can do. So we're gonna use Jerry as a demo right now. Jerry's gonna stand up and tell us his elements. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna start talking about it. And we're gonna actually have one of you guys work on him. We're gonna test your brains. And we'll do it for like 15, 20 minutes. I know, we're gonna wake your brains up real quick. Yeah, we're just jumping right into it. I wanna see what you guys learn, what you guys have done, how you think and how you process. And then we'll do it as a group, as a discussion. And then we'll have just somebody work on it. And we'll do that for about a half hour, and then we'll get somebody else up here. Say, hey, this is what's going on with me, and we'll have somebody else work on it. Okay? Everybody good with that?
Cool.
Okay, Jerry, come on up here.
Okay.
Are you providing lunch today?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Do we get to choose?
No, it's Jimmy Jones.
Oh, okay.
But we have, hold on, we haven't ordered, what do we have our, for Jimmy John's? What's our option? What do you guys like, just throughout, what do you guys like at Jimmy John's?
What, country club or something like that,
turkey
country
sandwich.
something.
Country Club and Turkey,
Beach Club,
Beach
Club,
Club,
is it the beach club?
that's the turkey avocado, or the
that's got the avocado.
Yeah.
Oh, that one is good.
Turkey
Okay,
avocado
I
and
think
crabs
that's the
and
one,
stuff.
yeah, the beach club. That's
Is
gotta
that
be
the
it.
turkey avocado one?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay,
They do the Beach Club?
yep.
That wasn't an option. You
That
know, that's
one.
what everybody
That one's
wanted.
not an option, but that one's a good one.
That one is a
Anything
good
else?
The
one.
beach one's a
That's
good
the only
one.
thing I ever.
Yeah, I'll do a beach club,
The beach
the
club.
turkey avocado.
That one wasn't an option.
Anyway, she'll pull it up, but let me know. Okay, so probably what I'm doing. Okay,
All right, Jerry.
first of all,
Yeah, Jared worked on me and all he could do is,
wow,
ooh, ah, wow, oh,
wow,
ah.
how are you walking?
What'd you
How are
do?
walking? Okay, first of all, is anybody noticing anything? Tell me what you guys are noticing before he even starts talking.
Calves look really tight.
Okay, good. Look at his foot. Look at his left foot compared to his right foot. What's it doing?
Wow.
Right foot, kind of-
His right foot is flat and his left foot is curved. Take your shoes off for us, Jerry.
Yeah. His head's.
I found
it's
something
worse,
else too.
Huh?
You know,
What?
I found something else just a few days ago.
Gee.
Like, oh, I didn't notice that before.
You guys are gonna work on me today because my leg locked up on me last night.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so what are you guys noticing?
Now I'm thinking about it, so now.
I know, I know.
Shoulders seem slightly rolled forward a little bit.
Which one? Okay, so stand straight.
Left one a little bit more than the right. but
Just
they're
drop your
both-
hands down to your side. There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Left
left
one.
one's rolled in.
Okay, left one's rolled in.
I can't quite see.
Okay, I want you guys to notice
It's flatter.
his feet like this or like that.
Mhm.
Can you guys see that?
Almost always.
Okay.
Mhm.
But you've also got to notice the scars that are on his toes and his feet. Okay, all right, what else are you noticing?
Thank you.
I left her right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay,
okay.
what else?
He has a hard time letting his arms hang down.
Okay. You okay if I take my shirt off?
Yeah, go
Or
ahead.
something, you're gonna see on the back.
Skin!
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Okay. You don't see anything on the back.
Yep, okay, what are you guys looking at?
Gotta put his arms down.
What are you guys noticing?
Left side seems more tight than the
Yeah.
right side.
Okay,
Mhm.
Okay.
all right,
Kind of
left side is sucked up, right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so then where's the other compensation happening?
right there.
Right there. Okay,
Oh, stop.
Okay, lower down,
Sorry.
There he was really.
right through there.
uh-huh.
Is that bulging still?
No, it's not bulging.
Yeah, must relax a little bit. Watch the other day. Okay.
Yep,
Let's see just a second. I gotta drop about 2 inches here.
Stop with the
Okay.
shirt here.
Now, what do you notice there?
that I haven't seen my abs in about 15 years.
Okay.
I just said
Is
that.
that notch? Is there a
Yeah.
notch still right there?
So look at,
Yeah, look at the difference right there.
right in through here, see how that's sucked up and that's not, okay?
Yeah.
Right in through there, which it could be lat
Mhm.
or, all right, it could be hips. Okay, now turn to the side. Now if you look, just from side to side, so turn around. This, button your jeans up so we get a little better. Yeah, so look at this hip right out here compared to this one here.
Oh, yeah.
See that?
Mhm.
Bulging.
So there's a couple of different things. Either this is tight and pushing it this way, and this side is tight to come back, or he's got a really big knot right there. Okay? And that's,
Okay, was there any injuries or this is just a
Yeah.
normal
Bent over, picked up an apple, the left side of my back spasm.
pineapple,
So right on the very top of my hip,
right?
right where the gluteus minimus, maximus, and
Medius?
basically right in this area,
Yeah.
it's on fire most of the
Okay.
time.
so
And
does it,
it radiates, it goes all the way around the side.
okay, so that's one of the questions is where they have the pain, ask if there's any, so while they're talking.
Yeah, and I can't lean to the left.
Where, right, oh, you can't lean to the left anymore?
I can't lean to the
That
left,
one's
it
sliding
cramps.
on here.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, okay, where does it hurt? Where it hurts. And I always ask, does it radiate?
Yeah, we get it.
Okay, I won't correct your spelling, but,
I combined an A and a D, that's
no, I was looking at does.
radiate.
Yeah.
Does that really happen?
That would make it radiate.
Okay, so good, so just like that, while somebody's talking, I just glance real quick. As they get up out of the chair and move, and as they come in, I'm watching everything. I'm watching, you know, somebody puts their hands in their pockets, if they like to do this, fold their arms, a lot of different things, can just see what's going on. And then I ask, okay, well, what are we doing for you? Where does it hurt? Where does it radiate? Okay, and a lot of times, right, well, just search here, does it radiate right? No, it just really hurts right here. Okay, it's a good sign, but I'm also seeing this, this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. So, and it's okay to point them out to people. Just be like, hey, you know what, I know that hurts, but I noticed that your feet are doing this. They're kind of together, going like this. Did you have any injuries on your feet, any accidents? I'm noticing your shoulders rolling forward. Because a lot of people are going to be like, I didn't even know I was out. And so if you can see that as well, they're all going to be like, holy cow. Basically what I'm doing is I'm making excuses for them of why they hurt. They're like, gosh, yeah. I'm like, well, your shoulders seem tight. Do you get headaches? Well, yeah, I get headaches, but I never thought it was coming from my shoulders. Well, definitely it could be. We could also look at that today. Because his hurts here, and he goes, it's just on fire and radiating to here. But we also can be like, well, we've got glute problems. More than likely it can become the hamstrings. It can become the issues this way.
This hamstring is locked up.
Locked up.
on
So,
this side.
so what side is the hamstring locked up?
Well, on this
On the
side,
right.
there's problems over here.
But the problems on his problems on the left side, his hamstring on the right side tight. You start pointing things out to him, because, all right, we're gonna just,
Okay,
I'm gonna show you guys brain stuff.
okay, there we go.
Can I show you how to mess with the brain?
Sure, kind of. I don't know, that's with people's brains.
Oh, I love messing with people's brains. And this is all recorded. We'll send this to you. When people get hurt, okay, the brain in the subconscious is where all the compensation happens.
That makes sense.
It's where all the compensation happens, okay? Because the conscious mind, when you hurt your knee or your ankle, the mind doesn't go limp left, hold right, limp left, hold right, lift left, hold right. It doesn't do that. The body automatically get up and they sprain their ankle and it goes like this without even having to think. The body automatically, subconsciously compensates. Because what this is doing is finding the path of least
Resistance.
resistance. Don't even, I'm just,
Yeah.
the path of least resistance. I think that's an E. Alright. But the conscious mind knows that it was in pain. So the subconscious then controls and tells and the muscles actually shift themselves. Okay? The more I'm finding this, the more the subconscious really is your muscle memory. Because what a subconscious does is it acts without even knowing. And that's what our body does. Okay? So this comes down to here, and where it gets to a point where it goes, okay, if I walk like this, hey, I can actually function like this. Well, guess what? That's where everything locks up. That's where the muscles lock up. Once it's out of pain, the body stays in this position, but then everything else has to compensate when it actually feels better. All right? And what this is really good at doing is suppressing the memory of this. It's real good at suppressing it. Real good at suppressing the pain. So what I have found is if I point out everything that I can see, so he knows that, okay, my back, that's pain. That's what's in my conscious memory. That's what's going on right now. That's what I'm focused on. But here is where all the junk happened. So what I'm trying to do is as I start pointing out everything, oh, do you have a headache? Hey, you know what? I notice your arms are going forward. Have you ever injured your arm? What about your hips? It could be here. Hey, I've noticed that your feet are off balance. Have you been in injury? I noticed you had a scar. What's a surgery from? Does that make sense? What I'm trying to do is get this back up here. I'm trying to get, and what they've done is they don't want to remember it. Because what the suppressing memory is a bunch of this. Guess what's happening in the world? It's coming out no matter what. There's people that I'm like, oh, like they come out. Sylvia was here. Sylvia was doing some observation yesterday about, I'm working now on kids in high school who have so much hip problems that I've never worked on that many. Hip flexors, pulling hips and groins and stuff like that.
Well, the one kid was what, 13?
Kid was 13. 13. The other kid was 15. I had another one that was 16. Like, this is starting to come out. Sports players.
I mean, is that common?
No, it's not common. That's the
Some
thing.
of them not playing sports, but yet still having those issues.
A lot of them, like I had a 10-year-old the other day who got in a car accident.
Oh, okay.
You know? But what's happening is there's a switch that a lot of, what's the word I want? A lot of parents who were in a lot of pain growing up are starting to try and find alternative ways to help with their kids. Because parents, really, you'll do anything for your kids. If they're in pain, they'll spend the money, whatever it is. What's happening is, as I'm finding, is we're coming and I'm working on these kids and explaining to the kids, guess what the parents are doing? Can I come see you? I had this since, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And what's happening is as I'm working on their kids, these parents are going, I need this more than my kids do, don't I? Yeah, you do. Because what's happening is as they're seeing it, as I'm pointing all this stuff is starting to come out this way. All right, I've had plenty of parents who they just started crying because their kids were in so much pain, and now their kids are out of pain, and now the parents are crying going, can I get on the table? All right, so there's a lot of stuff going on. One of the reasons why I point out everything that I see, and I don't point out everything that I see, I just choose about 3 or 4 things: hips, feet, neck, and shoulders. All right, because where do most people get hurt? Get hurt in their shoulders, they sprain their ankles. We can all, at least acknowledge somebody who, I know somebody who just stepped off of a stair rung and they tore their ACL. Does that make sense? Because something in here has been suppressed, the emotions, the memory, the compensation, and everything else. And if you start pointing those out, it gets up to this point, and now because it's in a conscious awareness, now people are going to do something about it. That's what's happening. When you don't know what to do something. I was telling these two today, I've had more people come in and they've told me everything and I've asked all sorts of questions. They go, so what do you think? And I look at them and I go, I got no clue. They go, really? I go, yeah, I have no clue. And they're like, well, what are you gonna do? I go, we're gonna lay you down on the table and we're gonna do something. And they go, okay. Okay, here's a principle I've learned in the last 2 days. If you don't know what to do,
Let's do something.
just do something. Don't know where to start? Just start somewhere.
Mhm.
You know? How many times people go, I know what I need to do, but they never take
Action.
that first step.
Mhm.
They don't ever do something. They don't ever do something. Alright? So that's why all these questions are asked. I need to get everything that's been suppressed, for the most part, up to here, so that they can start remembering this, and then they go, oh, you know what? Before this hurt, I remember that hurting, and then, oh, I had an accident 3 years ago, blah, blah, blah. And they go, could that be why this is hurting? I go, absolutely, that's a good reason why it could be hurting. I go, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take care of the pain that you have, but if you're okay, and if we have time, I'm gonna go down and look and see if that's where actually the problem's coming from. And if we don't get it fixed today, I need you to come back in so we can get it fixed. And then we gotta get that fixed, but then there's other stuff going on in there. And if you can just get them here, they'll come back as many times as it takes. But I've always done this, but I didn't know why I did this. Okay? I didn't know why I did this. But, in fact, this right here was about 5 minutes ago that I just realized why I did it. This picture just went,
Twink.
oh, that's how come I can do that. It's because what I see in them, and they can't see in themselves, what I'm doing is I bypass this, and we go from here to here. If this now becomes conscious up in here, when someone's right in front of you, you kind of take care of it. You know, some of us men, we don't. If there's laundry, like, hey, there's a laundry basket.
Or step on it.
These guys are laughing, and these guys are like, what are you guys talking about?
Don't do that.
Trey, learn, buddy. You're getting some good information. See a basket full of clothes?
Just
You
take
bend
care
down,
of it.
pick it up, and put it on the couch so that you don't trip over it.
That's the
Yeah,
solution.
that-
Don't fold the clothes or
Don't
anything.
fold it.
Go away.
Because, and then your wife says, well, did you
And if
see
you're
that?
already
And you're like,
folded,
absolutely, we saw it. I put it on the chair for you, so it'd be a lot easier to get to folding.
Or if they're all folded and stacked in there with your clothes in your way, so you'll see it.
Yeah. And then you go, honey, have you seen this shirt? She's like, yeah, it's folded in the basket. Well, where? What basket? You're like, oh, the one that you've passed by 10 times. I've learned, I'm aware now, if a basket's on the floor, I pick it up and I take it into the closet. I put things away. I do something, but really what it comes down to is awareness. Your clients are not aware of what they need. They are aware of where they're in pain, but they're not aware of what they need. You make themselves aware of what they need, and they go, and all, it's been fun, a lot of my clients look at me and go, I'm screwed up, aren't I? I go, yeah. They go, I mean, guys, the last 2 months have been the easiest sales months in the world. I just go, we need to get you back in here. They're like, yeah, I totally agree. I go, well, you can wait 2 months, or you can get in on a package and get in probably within the next 3 weeks. Let's do that. How much is it? 12 for $18.99, 10 for $16.60, 5 for $9.97. In fact, I've actually tried to talk people into a package of 5, and they're like, well, can I do the 12? Yeah, sure. Like, and they just come out, okay, here. Usually I don't give numbers. in 2 months, so you gotta remember there's taxes and there's other expenses, okay, it's not profit, but in 2 months, since June 20th, what are we in, end of July?
Mhm.
It's been $35,000.
Wow.
No, that's wrong. No, yeah, that's right. I can't tell you how much I spent for that on everything else, the taxes and everything. But does that make sense?
That's your gross.
That's gross.
Okay.
It's out there. You can make that much, okay? And if you tell anybody else, I'll deny it.
Yeah,
But that's what's going on. Okay, we came back from vacation, my wife goes, we better not pay ourselves. I go, why? She goes, because there's nothing in the checkbook. I was like, okay, how are we gonna do this? And it was one of the easiest months ever because, one, it's been pressured, but there's just a lot of people coming in, and I've just made people so aware of what they need. And they're like, okay, guys, money isn't an option with people anymore. I've had people, and I've told you guys this, I've had people, I'm like, there's no way that they can even afford this. And they're like, yeah, we'll do the 12, $18.99. Great, it's not even a problem. And then when they've got done again, they're like, sign me up again. And I'm like, I know your finances, you don't have this. And I don't tell them that. But they go, yeah, but we need it. Everything's a need. Does that make sense? People are stopped, they're stopped, they've got their HSA, you guys know what an HSA, health savings accounts or the flex spending accounts. People are like, I'm done spending it on pain management and I'm done spending it on this. Nobody has any answers. So I've had people come in and like, right, well this is pain and pain here, nobody understands. I go, well, it's because it's a muscle. They go, what are you talking about? I go, well, does it start here and radiate to here and kind of move up here this way? Yeah, how did you know? Because it's a muscle. In fact, I had a guy in here Saturday, and I don't even know how this even happened. He bent over, has 4 bulging discs. One disc was pinching the nerve, couldn't walk. His mother-in-law says, can you do something about it? I went, no. She goes, try anyway. Okay. Found the muscle in the hip popped loose, the back popped, the muscle popped, the back popped. He stood up and was out of pain. I went. And of course I was like, yeah, that's good. He laughed and I sat down in my chair and I went, what in the jack is going on? That's what I did. I just sat back going, okay, this is fun. It's starting to get fun now. So, make them consciously aware of what they need, and they'll come back. You reschedule them. It's really easy. Huh?
If you build it, they will come.
So 1, communicate. 2, educate. And don't be afraid to be an edutainer. You guys know what an edutainer is?
That's what you are.
I just entertain people when they're on the table. You educate them while you entertain them. And then 3 is rescheduling. If you can do those 3 things, if you can do these 2 things, that just comes. You do those, you communicate with them, tell them what you see, educate them on why you're seeing that and what some of the symptoms could be. You'll be like, hey, let's reschedule and get you back in here. And I tell them up front, I go, I'm not going to have all the time to fix everything. So we need to get you back in here. Whether it's 7 days, 10 days, whatever your schedule is, let's get it down on paper. Okay? All right, Trey, we're going to have you work on him. So we've done all that. In fact, we're just going to take this, I'm just going to stick them around the room, so if you guys want to take pictures, you guys can take pictures. Does that work?
Yep.
Okay. All right, Trey. Jerry's your client. And we're all going to critique you, and we're going to yell at you if you don't do it right.
Well, I might yell at him.
Well, it's gonna be fun, because all the things you, well, not all the things, but a lot of things up here I've never worked on before.
Good.
In the places that you've.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so
Stuff.
where do you think you're gonna start with him? You gonna start him face up or face down?
Face down.
Okay, good. So Jerry, face down. You're not bleeding again, are you?
No, I left my bike home. I left my bike
Yeah,
home.
you're bleeding last time.
That's right.
Oh,
And that ankle was
forever.
swollen too. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
Are you still
I
feeling
did,
stuff down here, or is it mainly just up here in the hips now?
In the hip, top of the hip, right on the, well,
okay.
basically, right there.
Right in there.
Yep,
Any pain in your right breast?
yep.
Yeah? How about down here?
Stand up and-
Maybe go a little harder. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's sort of there.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna put this as 1, and then this is 2. Good. Oh, I just drew on my wall.
Oh,
Okay.
So I mean, just from what
So
I've
yeah, just
been
talk
doing-
it
okay.
out, talk it out. That's what we're doing.
From what I've been doing, I mean, and it's mainly just because, I mean, I guess I know, I've been doing some stuff in here on some clients that's
Good.
been working, or
Good.
I can't remember if it's what we learned, like what you showed us, but coming in like this,
Mhm.
and lifting up and
Yep.
putting pressure right in there, and then
Yep.
moving the hip and everything.
Uh-huh.
And then coming right in here as well, just like
Perfect.
with the glutes and coming up high
Okay,
and
so come here.
doing the hip rotator stuff.
Come here. Look at how he's laying.
Yeah. Oh, that shifted.
Okay. So see that?
Mhm.
See how he's here and
Yeah.
here? Okay. I've been doing a lot more with bolsters. In fact, the last video, I did a lot with bolsters, and this next video coming on the 1st, I did a lot more with bolsters too on the legs.
Okay.
Okay? So, now there's gonna be a couple of different things. You either need that in a contracted state, in a slackened state, to get the muscle to let go, or you need to spread that out to drop yourself in. Does that make sense? So it's however you want, go ahead.
Are you referring to here or here?
Yeah.
Well,
Because
look,
exactly.
so
where
right
you're
here, if you go up there, you guys can tell how much he's sucked in here.
Well, just when he was
See that?
standing up, it
Yeah.
was just like
Yeah,
this.
just like that.
Yeah.
So he's here with the rotation.
Mhm.
All right, does that make sense? So the question is, do I release the muscle in this state where it's already contracted, or do I try and stretch it out a little bit,
Which is where the bolster comes
which
in.
is where the bolster comes in, to get that down, and then so I can move it? Don't know.
Yeah.
That's where we just gotta get in there and dig.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
If the impression says, hey, I'm gonna use a bolster first, then I use a bolster first. Yesterday, I tried to use a bolster, it wasn't working. So then I just made the muscles contracted already as possible. With Jerry, when I worked on him, I used the bolster to open that up.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
And you
So would you
can,
put the bolster on this side?
no, I put the
You would put the
bolster
bolster
Right under.
right here, like that,
Open it up.
okay? But then what you can also do is this.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
So
So now, it's already opened, and you can tell how he wanted to shift.
Mhm.
So there's not a lot of separation, there's not a lot of hip stuff going on.
Yeah.
So in that movement, for me, the one thing that I would do first is I would hit the top of the glute.
Okay.
Get that to relax, and then I would go in for the oblique.
Okay.
Okay? So try that. Does anybody have sharp nails? I got sharp nails, and I gotta go file mine. So, you guys just watch him.
Talk to me, Jerry. You just let me know if I'm killing you.
No, you're.
I'm just trying
Or
to
just
find
scream
out.
like a girl.
There you go.
Found it. Think.
Yep,
Right in there.
yep, yep. Yeah, you're rolling on it.
straighten the leg. There, leave it about right there, and then move it back and forth, and that actually helps stretch out. Oh, the gluteus. That'll drop you in deeper. But it hurts more.
Really, I didn't know. Couldn't have guessed that.
Oh,
There it is.
yeah.
Okay, so what's poking out on it? You guys see anything that just poked out? This is lat muscle,
Mhm.
right there.
Yeah, it's tight.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Well, this-
That one's bulged out too. Yep,
and then the shoulder blades. Or maybe it's just part
so
right
that's
there.
good.
And that would be the next area after you do that, and fill out the.
No, I'd still go right down in here on the oblique. You could come up here and loosen that up to get down into this one. But once that glute lets go, hopefully this relaxes.
You think that's let go at all?
Yeah, it's letting go.
The more
It's
thin
actually
it
pulling
comes,
clear
the more
across the other
it
side now.
Yeah.
How much, I don't know.
So that's when you let off. Here, you put this
And
in.
it's not,
The more these are coming.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Okay, now try it.
So now, question here, if
Uh-huh.
you put the bolster under the other hip, wouldn't it, to equal it back out, wouldn't it just been easy to pop all the boosters off?
No, because what this is actually over here is doing is preventing this going all the way over.
Okay.
That's actually stopping it. Because what was happening is as we was pushing here, it was stretching over here a lot.
mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going clear around the front.
Yeah. Going around the front here, or
Both,
around
both sides,
both sides.
yeah.
And you said you just bend over to pick up an apple?
Yes,
Mhm.
and it locked
That was a
up the
big
whole left
apple.
side, locked up on this.
Yeah. There,
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel that knot.
Yeah, it's right there.
Uh,
Okay, are you feeling anything else shift? Because what's happening is you're dropping really good into here,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not letting go.
Yep.
So as you're moving it, are you feeling where the knot actually could be coming from?
It feels like it keeps shifting.
Okay, so come on slow, good. And that's what, there you go. And this tape might be a little low for you, Trey.
I've been playing with table heights and it's just,
That's just.
I've found that I really like the hydraulic tables. It's so
They're
nice.
just not stable enough for me.
Yeah?
Yeah, cool. Now, if they have the four, where the four ones come up, but just the ones that are just on the round one, they lift up that way?
Oh, no, the ones that I've been, they're actually like, it's like an X in the middle, so there's
Uh-huh.
legs on the left side, legs on the right, and it creates an X, so
Oh,
the left
that's
legs have a beam that goes to the other end of the table,
That's
and then
nice.
it just, so it goes up and down, and you can get them almost down to the floor,
That's nice. I'm gonna have to look into one of those.
so that's what Massage Envy uses.
Sweet.
So they're really nice.
Back just popped.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that one went down.
Mm-hmm.
That one's calmed down. So where he was at the beginning, the muscle let him in, but there was no movement. So he was like, okay, well, I'm feeling it shift all over, so he got up and shifted to where the actual knot was.
That tender right in there?
You gotta push a little harder to find out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just go all the way around that hip bone, right there. And while you're going around, just kind of move. Good. There it went. And he relaxed. Okay, good.
That looks a lot better right
And that looks a lot better right in in through there and here. So where you were was awesome, it was pushing things down and causing things to tighten, but that was actually protecting this.
Gotcha.
So that was protecting this, and that's what all of these were doing. So this was pulling here because this was protecting here. So
Gotcha.
once you got to where the problem is, pop, pop, and that thing all just loosened up.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. So now,
So
okay, yeah.
if I were to
so-
come up into here, would I keep bolsters the same, in the same position, since
I
guess
would.
I'm still kind of pushing in the same direction. so-
I would, you do the same direction. Or even if you're getting up into here, what I've really loved now is putting it, so you can go up here. I love, whenever I start working on the back now, I just twist it. I just put it into a twisted position. So this is already pretty much there, but we'll loosen this up more and put it up in here, just like that.
Mhm,
Actually, I did the wrong way, because you're working on that side.
okay. Yeah. Makes a little more
Yeah.
sense,
Yeah.
like, it's kind of hard to
Yeah.
get to it when
Yeah.
it's.
There, see?
Yeah.
Now there's that one.
Oh, gosh.
Now you can follow that clear down into there.
Okay.
And actually, here's
So
the
is that
thing.
that junction that you,
Yeah.
that was in one of the videos where everything's coming together right down
Yep.
there?
Yeah. So if you guys look, in this position, we've actually put him straight. That's how twisted he is, mentally, physically, emotionally.
Twisted.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Where's your other sister?
Yeah.
Twisted. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. Twisted sister. Good. Now with this, you can do that, move his arm.
Move his arm?
Yep, you can move his arm up and down like this, remember? Because that's, okay, so I'm gonna bring this over here for you, Trey.
Move the lats?
Because that's right in this junction. So you've either got the erector spinatus, but if you're gonna get that, you're gonna get this muscle as well,
Yeah.
right in through there. So if somebody says it's burning or it's on fire, that's a cramping sensation. Okay, when the muscle cramps, if they're like, it just burns all the time, that's a cramp. The three things that I'll talk about, okay, is it an ache, is it a burn, or is it a sharp shooting pain? The burn means it's cramping, sharp shooting means that it's pulling on each other, so it's kind of like tearing away from each other, and the ache means that it's pulling on the bone. Okay, so if he were to say, man, I just have this, like, just this pulling sensation right there, then I know that the muscles and the tendons are what's pulling. If it's a burning sensation, he's cramping right there. I've never taught you guys that, have I? Jeez, what a dumb.
I actually just recently learned that one. Well, I say recently, it was like 2 months ago, but it's because I started having cramps and spasms in my back,
Mm-hmm.
which it was good because I had it, I had to work through it, and then I had a bunch of clients that had it. So I knew exactly what to tell them.
That's
Okay,
exactly.
so
And it
you've
worked,
got
it was
burning,
great.
aching, and pulling, right?
Yep. So the pulling, or the burning is a cramp. The burning is a cramp.
So the muscles just contract.
The muscle's just in a state of contraction. The stinging is the muscles are contracting, but they're pulling each other apart.
Stinging,
Stinging.
So
It's a
contracting,
stinging.
but pulling.
Stinging or pinching. Some people will call it, it doesn't sting, it pinches.
and that's contracting and pulling.
Yeah, so that would be like this muscle contracting and this muscle contracting. And so it's like, it's just a stinging sensation or a
But it's
pinching.
stinging here,
Stinging,
you got
pinching,
muscles here.
then you got
pulling.
muscles that are
Okay.
pulling it apart. And if it's cramped, so what more than likely is gonna happen is we're gonna get the cramping, burning sensation out, and it's gonna move to a pinching. Because now we can stretch and the muscles are gonna pull, then the next step is gonna be like, okay, it's gonna feel more like an ache now because the tendons are off of the bone. Or the tendons are now relaxed and so the bone's gonna ache. If bones ache, that's a great sign.
Bones.
So is the ache gonna be felt on the bone, like my bone aches
Yeah, like my
right here?
bone aches, it just aches
That
right on
means
the
the
bone.
tendon's
That
pulling,
means the tendon is
so
pulling on it.
muscle needs to be
Yeah.
released.
A lot of times what happens is people will have pain and sharp shooting pain and you release all the muscles, they're like, it doesn't hurt anymore, but there's just an ache on the bone. And people usually will describe it after you release the back muscles and they stand there like, oh my, it just hurts like right here in the middle. And I always point to there. That means that the muscles have relaxed and they've been pulling on that bone and tendon for so long that now the bone aches.
Okay.
And I always describe it, you know, if you make a fist and you just hold it as long as you can, and then when you let go, you're like, oh, the bones just ache.
So what do
That's the
you,
reason
you
why.
just say, go home
Just say
and
give it
rest.
time, rest it, you know, ice it if
back,
you want to,
whatever.
yeah.
But if they come in with an aching.
If they come in with an aching bone,
something's pulling.
then something's pulling on it.
I'm ordering it.
Do they have the beach club?
No, but I have the
Oh.
order all done,
Okay.
so I just need.
Oh, you need
Yeah.
money.
Just thinking about it.
Yes, thinking about it.
Getting little twitches.
Right there. Okay. So in that aspect, you should be feeling something trying to pull all through
Mhm.
here. So here, just leave this here, ease off here, come out, come over, and then bring that all back. Now, yeah, now bring his arm, swing it all the way down, and you should feel that muscle. Yeah, feel that? Good. Yeah, if that doesn't help, so I'll show you how to get your fingers on the inside of his hip. Oh. There it is. Good, yeah. Right there. It's about ready to go. Can you feel it, how it's just,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's just about ready. There. Did you guys see that?
Right there.
Trey, did you feel that? Right in through there? Now come out slow and then move down again and get back into it. There.
In his original spot,
Yeah.
Mhm.
or are we just
Yeah, in his
moving
original
around?
spot.
Okay.
Good. Okay, now put his hand down right there. Now with your left hand, you're gonna grab his shoulder and you're gonna stretch that out. There you go. Now pull it. Keep the pressure here, flat off here. There it is. Now do it again. Now that's your movement for the erectors. Can you feel that in there, Trey?
Yeah.
Jerry, where are you feeling? Is that radiating anywhere? Is it just localized?
Oh, the whole other side hurts.
Over here?
Yeah, the hip,
Okay. There, Ryan. There you go. How's that feel now?
that's better.
Yeah. So now, just kind of move this back and forth, rotate his arm like this. Yeah. There you go. Beautiful. Can you feel how nothing's sliding underneath here? And then you come off real easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. There you go. Now, you take the bolsters out. Oh. Then you gotta straighten him out. Then you kind of pull here, get them all even.
Still a little question.
Still a little crooked, but not bad. Okay, so let me show you how to get what I did to him last time. Make sure my fingernails are.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Sometimes those oblique muscles or curl it around here. So this looks fantastic through there, okay? Sometimes you need to get that oblique
Mm-hmm.
and unload it, or uncurl it.
Okay.
So right in here, and you guys can all come and feel this. You can actually feel the oblique muscle right here. Feel that, see? Right there. That's a curled oblique. That's the transverse oblique. Okay.
My hands are cold.
Probably feel good.
Yeah, I can see it probably feels good.
Yeah.
Right there.
Oh, yeah.
Feel that?
So say you guys some trouble from an experience I had yesterday. Don't go barefoot outside if you're not from St. George.
Oh, Jack, no, don't go barefoot anyway.
I went to the pool to swim laps, and I went over to the other side of the pool to grab something, but I had thrown off my shoes.
Uh-huh.
Felt fine at first. Halfway around the pool, my feet started to burn.
Yeah.
So I'd run over and get my feet in the water, and then go a little further, and get my feet in the water, go a little further. And
Well, here's what happened to me too. So when I was younger, living in St. George, I could go out barefoot, 110 degrees, it didn't matter. Never had any problems with it, never had any problems. Well, the first place I worked at Legend Salon, and one of the gals needed to do a trade. She was hurting, so like, I'll do a pedicure. I'm like, all right, whatever. So it was May, it wasn't even 90 degrees yet, and I had to go walk down to my sister's house. My wife's like, well, don't you want shoes? I'm like, no. And this was just the day after I got a pedicure. I burned my feet. I'm like, what in the heck? And my wife's like, what? My feet are burned. Like, and I go, what? And I go, boss, pedicure. She scraped off all my calluses. I've never gotten a pedicure since then. Okay, there it went.
So did you, what were you doing?
anything.
Nope, I didn't do
You were
moving.
just
Did you
holding it?
use body
Were you
weight
just
to-
moving it?
So what I did,
into
and
it.
this is gonna take some strength, okay? I grabbed that muscle and if you notice, I just pushed down here. So I was just right here and I lifted that up.
So you're
and
right along the edge that's
So I'm
curled.
right along the edge and I lifted it up and then I pulled it out.
Okay.
And the sucker, and the oblique muscle had curled like this, so it was sitting like that. So I just hooked it and I pushed and it popped out.
Okay.
The only way I can describe
Just trying to
that
find the edge and pull
is
it
just
out.
trying to find the edge and pull it out.
Okay.
It's almost, in fact, I can tell you the idea for this. When my wife was pregnant with our first one, she was dilated to a 10, but part of the cervix was a 9. And so the lady just reached up then, and on the contraction, she just pushed it over the head. And I went, what if I could do that? And so that's what I started doing. So right there, now it's just tender already, all the time. But right in here, so all I'm doing is I'm just curling that muscle.
So you're doing it again, or there's
I'm
another
just
one?
doing it again, there's another one. So now I've got it pinned, and the edge doesn't want to uncurl. So now what I'm doing is I'm just gonna use his own body weight. There he goes. So there's actually a knot, let me show you. So the knot is right in here, okay? So what you guys were flipping over was that transverse oblique. All right, so the edge finally curled, but there was a knot in there in the first place, that's why it curled all the way underneath. So, stretching a balloon out, okay? So if you stretch a balloon out, you know how the edges curl? That's what the muscles do. When a muscle's really tight and you stretch it out, the edges will curl. That's how come a lot of times if people will bend over, those muscles are curling, and then when they stand up, they pinch. Does that make sense? And so I just,
Pick an apple.
now you could flip him over and then do the transverse oblique and everything that I showed you, but just reach up and slap it around and pull it back. That's what you're gonna do. So then after the edge uncurled, okay, so we brought the whole thing out, then there was another knot. And that's the knot is when I pushed and then I pushed down on it and all of a sudden it just went whoop. And as soon as it did that, he just, whoa. So now, what I would do in this position, I'd be like, okay, Jerry, go onto your elbows. And Now what I want you to do is I want you to stretch that left side out and see how that feels. Yeah, it's a good stretch. Now go the other way. Because now why we're going the other way is we're going to see if it pinches. How does that feel?
Good, except for the right side.
Yeah. So now, if that's the case, now you just switch the bolsters and you do the opposite side. Okay? The nice thing is you wouldn't have, you'd start here.
Yeah, that's
do-
what
do-
it's-
I would
that's
do, yeah, I would do the whole thing here.
Yeah.
And the reason why this is so tight is because you did put a lot of pressure over here.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't necessarily twist him because right here, from what I did and what you did, look how straight he is.
Yeah, pretty straight.
He's really straight. So with not a problem, the reason why it hurts over here is because it was just tight because you were working on him, not necessarily because there's a knot.
Yeah.
So he's still, his body was still compensating on the table even though you were working on it. So then you just come over here and I'd put a bolster under here like this,
Just to stop it.
just to stop it, and then we'd come over here this way and you could push on it and it's tight. He's got some knots in there from compensation. We'd release these. I'd have him go up into his elbows again and do the exact same stretches. If he goes, holy cow, both sides feel really good, look at the clock, be like, all right, you know what? That's all we got time for. How does that feel? He'll be like, oh man, that's exactly what I needed. I'm like, great, let's go out and get you rescheduled because you got more glutes, you got shoulders. Sorry we didn't get, and I apologize, be like, you know what? And I entertain him. I go, holy cow, dude, man, those were so tight. Holy smokes. But we got to get to this stuff. So sorry I wasn't able to get to that, but let's get to this next week. What's a good day for you? You know, da-da-da-da, let's get in here. And so he's already going, man, I got to get back in here because my back just feels fantastic. I want him to get the rest of the stuff. And there's going to be people who be like, oh, I'll call you. I'll let you know I don't know what my schedule is. That's fine. You write their name and number down. You give them a couple days. You haven't heard from them. You call them back up. Say, hey, how you feeling? Just wondering, I know you got busy. See, now I have Rachel do that. But right now, that's your guys' job as well, is to follow up. Because what does that show your clients?
That you care.
One, you care. Be like, two, hey, I'm just checking up. But three, you haven't called me. We got to get you back in here. We need to get you better in this and this. And they'll be like, hey, you know what? Yeah, sorry, totally forgot. Got my kids, blah, blah. Got my calendar with me right here. Let's do it. Because honestly, people are busy. Let's just be honest. People are stinking busy, you know? So I'm just gonna do this real quick. So I'm just pushing down. And what I'm doing is I'm just pushing that body down and stretching that muscle out, so when it comes back, it's just right on that muscle. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then sometimes we'll just, and sometimes it's just, guys, I'll just have fun with people. Like, what are you doing that for? No makeup.
Because I wanted to.
In fact, Kathy, she goes, you know, you could tell your clients to jump on their left foot and spin around 3 times at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and they probably all would do it. I'm like, what do you do? I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see if somebody really would do it. I'd be like, no, they wouldn't. She goes, I bet they would. And she said, you could BS your way through all the anatomical stuff and tell them why. I'm like, no, I probably could. Center of gravity of the clock at 4 o'clock in the afternoon is residual to where the sun and the moon shift. And so you do that and you spin around backwards.
Because Mars is in retrograde.
Mars is in retrograde,
And 3 other
and the
planets.
sun is 42 miles from the sun, like that.
And we are upside down.
We're upside down, so if you turn on your left foot and spin the other way, counterclockwise, it's gonna put everything back into motion.
And the world will be a better place.
And the world will be a better, there we go. For you and me. Just wait and see, wait and see. Come on. That's a song. Put a little love in your heart.
There you go.
Yeah. So see, he's tied all up through here, so. You know, but we just got that. So go under your elbows again. Take the bolster out. twist both ways and see how that right side.
Yeah, it's a lot better.
Okay, well, aren't you gonna do
No.
here? No?
No, there's no need,
Okay.
there's no need.
Like, feel it and see. If you want.
I mean, you can feel it, that's the thing, is he's gonna be, I mean, there's a little edge right there, but it's not cramped, it's not, go back down, like, you can feel it. I mean, there's a oblique sitting right here, but it's nothing like that one,
So we can
curled.
feel the difference.
Go ahead and feel it, yeah, feel the difference between a tight muscle and the difference between
Yes, there's
the
that.
left curled muscle.
Well, it's not curled anymore.
It's not curled, it's what it was.
Okay.
Sorry, cold hands.
That's why I'm gonna be the death in the apprenticeship program. I'm gonna graduate you just to get you out of this.
You always have to have fun.
I don't know, but I think I got like three or four now.
Oh,
Yeah.
besides Rachel?
Huh?
Besides Rebecca?
Rebecca, she gives me a hard time. She's coming in tomorrow. She's supposed to come in today, but she's coming in tomorrow.
Go in a little bit further, Sylvia.
Who's Rebecca?
Rebecca too?
Oh,
She,
She's one that-
Eagle Mountain. Sorry. Cute.
Yeah, so go on your elbows again. Just kind of,
She's a girl.
yeah, so.
I figured.
Okay, so on his elbows now, look how much more relaxed that is. And he can twist and
it's not
everything else.
tight.
So then, how I would do this, I'd be like, all right, just turn to whichever side and sit up that way. I wouldn't have him just get straight up, because we don't want to, we don't want anything to pinch or move. Yeah, so look at that. Hey guys, come here and look at his back. Look, see how everything look how that's just dropped down.
Yeah.
That's what's cool, is we didn't even work here.
Yeah.
Here and here, and the whole back just went, "Ugh, okay." And a lot of times I'll look at people and be like, all right, can you feel how relaxed this is? And they're like, oh yeah. And I'm like, great. Next time, we're gonna check the hips, make sure those have stayed, and we're gonna come and we're gonna strip all this up, we're gonna get the headache and everything else, and they go, freaks, sign me up. Okay? And then you just come over and make sure they're not lightheaded or dizzy, and you stand right, yeah, look. Just look how relaxed that is. Jerry, bend left to right. So bend left to right.
Look.
Yeah, so like this. Don't twist.
That's hard.
Just go, yeah, just, yeah.
Pop.
See?
Yeah, I can actually do that now. I can do it.
And that's what we gotta do, is check on, we wanna make sure, okay, this is really good, but it's gonna settle and tighten. So we don't know exactly what else is gonna show up, but we gotta get you back in here so that the compensation muscles, or compensatory, if you guys want something really cool, it's compensatory muscles. That way we can see what else is going on in there, so the back doesn't come back, and we can get to other problems that I'm seeing. And they go, okay, you made it to my awareness, and I don't want to be in pain. I don't want this coming back again. I got to get back in here because, and I've had a lot of people come in and be like, look, it still hurts, but for 2 weeks I didn't have any pain. And they're like, if I have to come in every 2 weeks to be out of pain, I'm in, because we've just taken it from here to here. But when they're on the table, what starts to happen is their subconscious starts to go, well, what about frozen shoulders? What about migraines? What about this? What about this? Like, yeah, I work on that all the time. Why? Do you have that? No. But a member of my family does. I've got a close friend. I have people who come in and they're like, this is totally going to work. I go, what are you talking about? They're like, I've had 2 friends that have heard about your name and they found out I was coming in here. So they're waiting for me to call them when I get out. I go, what's their names? And it's like Jen and Sarah or something like that. I'm like, great. They call the next week. They're on my schedule. It takes 2.5 months to get in.
Yeah, the other thing I couldn't do, I couldn't lift this leg like this, because it would cramp. right
Because it would
there.
cramp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd cramp right up.
And that's because what happens is the glute muscles have to let go for the hamstrings to pull. The other fascinating thing I'm finding is that, okay, so the outside, so your peroneal muscles or your stabilizer muscles are associated with quads. And what I'm starting to find is the actual anterior tibialis and the extensor digitorum are connected with your inside hamstring. It twists it. How did I figure that out? Happened to me this morning. because I've been having some anterior tibialis stuff, and it's just been cramping in the mornings, where I'm just getting up going, ha! I can't move. Well, this morning I rolled out of bed and I straightened my leg. The inside cramped, and so did the anterior tibialis at the same time. So when I stood up, it wanted to twist. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. As soon as I stretched and I kind of just pounded on that inside hamstring, the anterior tibialis let go. And I've been noticing that for a while on a lot of different people. They'll come in with sprained ankles, and I'll work that, and it feels good. And then when I get to here and I work the front, a lot of them said, I can feel it up the back of my hamstring. I can feel it up the back of my leg. And I didn't think anything of it until it cramped on me. I was like, oh, well, that's it. Because I've been doing a lot of getting back into working out, doing a lot of squats and leg works and stuff like that. That's what I found, which makes sense, that the semimembranosus muscle, okay, crosses down here to where the popliteus is. So if that tightens, it's going to pull the popliteus, which is going to make that anterior tibialis pop up. And that's how a lot of people walk, is they walk like this. If they hurt their ankle or stub their toe or something like that. And so that's what's going on. So it comes in here and wraps around and comes up that way.
Okay. And drop foot is from where?
Drop foot.
Their foot, they can't lift their toes, basically. when
Yeah, they
walk.
can't lift their toes, it's the same thing. And it's not that they can't lift their toes, it's that their muscles are so tight when they cramp that it goes like this, and when they hit that heel on the ground,
Mhm.
it just flops.
Flops.
So
Okay.
it's called the drop foot.
Okay.
Yeah, because they can't hold that contraction all the way through.
Okay.
Most,
So it's not the band down here that's giving you the problem?
no,
Okay, so it's up right in there.
nope, it's right here. Do that all the time. In fact, people who can't lift their toes like this,
Mhm.
that's the reason why. It's because this muscle is so tight, so you're gonna hit the peroneals or you're gonna come this way.
Okay.
But that's the reason why a lot of runners,
Mhm.
when they have knee problems, they go,
Mhm.
they
Oh.
flop. Or a lot of people that'll just, you can hear them like that, yeah.
It's a flip-flop thing.
Yeah.
You should never design them.
Flip-flops are fine, I like flip-flops, I'd rather have people wear flip-flops. Especially like the sandals with, with the toe and stuff like that, yeah. I'd rather do that, it's a little bit more natural motion. What I actually saw an increase with this is when the kids had the shoes that had the wheels on them.
Oh.
That's when-
Wheelies.
The wheelies,
Uh-huh.
yeah, that's when you saw a lot of hamstring and knee problems with the kids. And now that technology's there, now there's a lot of this.
Yep.
So, so just kind of FYI, if somebody comes in and they got like shin splints, like if somebody says, "No, I just got shin splints," and they just hurt right there, you're gonna fix that, but you're also gonna kind of realize that it's coming from the inside hamstring as well.
Got it.
People who have knee surgery, I was talking to you two this morning. People who had knee surgery, for years, I've just tried to loosen up the quad muscles. And I found on people with knee surgery, if I will work the anterior tibialis, the peroneals, and the hamstring, the knee goes bloop and plops back into place. I don't know how they have surgery, but it's got to do something with how they put their knee in surgery. I'm not quite sure how they put their knee in surgery yet.
Right, when they
So
work
say
on
that,
they
which
work on it.
ones for knee surgery? The
Knee
anterior
surgery
tibialis?
is the anterior tibialis, okay, the extensor digitorum. So basically just the front muscles and the peroneals, so
Okay.
basically all right in through here, and the hamstring, the inside
Oh,
hamstring.
that, okay, so it's all the front muscles and then the inside.
Then the inside hamstring. Because what I'm thinking, and I don't, like I said, I don't know how, and I might want to do some more research on this, but how they have in surgery, when they do like a knee surgery, they bring their legs up to this position a lot, and then they have their toes pointed. I'm thinking that's what's going on, is with this coming into here, so when they're done, and they try and go back, what's actually happening is it's twisting. That popliteus right in here is twisting and tightening, so it's just so it just can't flatten all the way. And that's why a lot of people, if you notice that they've had knee surgery, they can step, but they can't lock that knee back. And that's one of the reasons why I found, is if we can get these muscles to let go, and the back hamstring, it just goes and kind of relaxes down into place. And then you can get the quads and everything on top of that. I tried to go quads, I tried to do quads and hamstrings, and that helped, but when I've gotten the popliteus and these and then the hamstring muscles, it's just, they stand up and they go, whoop, oh hey, I can put my knee back. Okay,
I have a question.
yes,
Okay, remember in your seminar you said after we do work on somebody to reset them, have them stand against the wall,
oh yeah, if they can't walk.
okay? So with him,
Mhm.
after working on him, would you put him against the wall?
Mhm.
And when would you put someone against the wall?
I would put somebody against the wall to arrest them. No. Generally, so
I remember
How
seeing
did-
that on
when I've had a couple people who've been locked up for so long, generally when I've had to do that, it's when I've had to work on the calves and the hamstrings. Because they stand up and they go, whoa. When they can't walk, that's when I'll usually do it. And you'll notice it
But you
because
walk, you have them walk through the wall?
I'll have them
and
walk.
stand
I'll have them stand up like how you feel, and they go, and they just have this
The wobble?
wobble. I go, okay, let's walk, and I know it. I go, okay, if you want to walk, if they go, okay, let's have you walk, and they go, okay. If they just start to walk, they're good. But if you're sitting there like, well, let's just have you walk around the table, and they go, okay, like, if they have to think about it, I'll just be like, hey, let's just reset you. And you just go put them up against the wall, have their shoulders and heels and butt touch, and you just have them close their eyes, and make sure they're still not wobbly, okay? And then you just tell them what foot to step with. Like, okay, step with your right foot, and they go, and they have to think about it. If they have to start thinking about stuff like that, like usually if they walk and they just go, oh, I'm just kind of feeling weak, and they do it, that's fine. If there's a pause, if you go, okay, let's just have you walk around the table, and they go, okay, like, I gotta remember how to walk again, then that's when you do it. And you just put them up against the wall and be like, right, if you go, okay, step with your left foot, and they go, okay, and it takes them a while to figure it out, and you just go touch it. You just be like, okay, you're gonna step with your left, and you touch it, and they go, okay, and then they can step again. They go, okay, do your right, and then they can do their right. Sometimes you have to just tap it to make that connection. So that's it. I've only had to do that on, I've only ever had to do that on 3 people. Because they just stand up and I go, okay, walk, and they go, and they just, nothing moves, and I just hold on to
So
them.
it's not a regular occurrence?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. If you have somebody who, you work a little bit more energy work, if you have somebody who's had a huge emotional release, energetically and physically, you're probably gonna have to reset them.
Because yesterday I had a client's worked calves,
Mhm.
inside hams.
Yeah, the inside hamstrings, that can do that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so and others,
Mhm.
so.
Yeah. Yeah, if they have to think about walking, they're kind of not. That's why I just have them like, all right, stand up. They go, okay, you feel good, okay, walk.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
But if they have to go, which way do you want me to walk? Like, if they have to think about walking, if they can't make a decision on walking, that's when I'm like, here, okay, let's just kind of reset you. But I've only had to do that about 3 times.
Okay.
It's not a common thing. Because we've been walking since we were 18 months. That's why I just kind of did that. Is I don't, some people go, oh, touch your nose and ears and do all that stuff. Some of us can't even do that, as an adult. But the one common ground is everybody learned to walk. And so if they have to think about walking that they've done pretty much their whole life, that's when I just reset them. Like I said, it doesn't happen a lot. In fact, it's only happened 3 times ever.
Okay.
Okay? But if you just want to have some fun with them, then, guys, I play around with my clients all the time. They do, what'd you do that for? I just think, because it's just goofy fun. And they go, all right.
Kind of like rocket. What'd you decide for? I didn't, I just wanted it.
Yeah.
What'd you like for? I didn't, I just wanted it.
So, okay, any other questions before we go on a potty break? Good job, good form.
Yeah, it does,
Feels a lot better.
I can actually stand. I mean, I'll stand.
Well, no, and your feet look better too. Yeah.
I know I got problems in the calves, so
Yeah. Okay, so we had 3 people, but Rebecca had to move to tomorrow. You guys remember Josh, Big Josh that you worked on?
Yes.
He's coming in right now. Anybody want to work on him?
What's he got?
He's got leg stuff. Why don't you work? You got
It
work
was
on. Why don't
kind
we have
of
you work on
fun,
him?
actually.
Yeah, it was fun. So we'll have you work on Josh,
Just this-
and then you guys choose in between yourselves who to work on.
Have you still got openings for Friday?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll see if I can get a hold of that one client of mine that I was
Perfect.
telling you
Yeah,
about.
have him come in.
See if we can,
Yeah, have him come in on Friday.
okay. Is
I
Kate
think-
coming in on Friday?
Yeah, Kate's coming in on Friday. Yeah, but we can put him whatever we want to, so you work on him and Kate.
Okay.
So yeah.
You said 2, or there's 3 people coming right now?
There were supposed to be 3. 2 of them canceled and they're tomorrow.
So 2 of us are gonna be working on each other?
So 2 of you guys are gonna be working on each other, one person's gonna, you're gonna be working on Josh.
Okay.
You're gonna have fun with him.
Yeah.
I think you'll have fun with Josh.
But he was really nice.
Oh yeah, yeah. But you might have to go lower. Which table? They've all got, all the tables have padding and everything on it now. So there's not one better than the other one, so. So if you want taller tables in my room, then there's 2 shorter tables in here.
No, it's shorter.
So
Yeah.
whichever ones you wanna do, we'll do that.
Where he's bigger, I'll need him lower.
Yeah,
He's bigger.
you're gonna go on this one then in here,
Okay.
come in here, and then the rest of you guys can go on the other ones.
Okay.
I've got new music in this room.
What was wrong with,
It was the same song
What was
over
the
and
same
over
song?
and over again.
Oh,
over and
Oh,
again.
that one,
I
that's,
just started
isn't that
tuning it out.
Charlie's husband or
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
Yes.
And the only reason he noticed is because he's a music teacher.
Yeah.
So this will be good, and what I really want you guys to work on and work with is I really want you to be kind of critical of what's going on. Okay, talk to him, fill out the survey, when you guys are done, fill out the survey as well. The notes and everything else, you don't have to fill out everything else. But fill out the notes, like really, it's coming crunch time, like end of October.
oh, well,
when you
here
guys
was
are
my
done.
question.
Yes,
So what is it that we're going to do exactly to certify?
you're doing it.
Okay, so we're not, you don't have some big something at the end of this to,
A big crazy test that's not related to what we
We
said.
got a
Okay.
party. You
Written
guys are
test,
Okay.
200 questions.
I didn't
Excuse me,
know.
So, no,
I didn't know if there was
you got,
anything.
I've done it and made it in such that, I mean, you guys are already working on clients, which is fantastic, so I'm not even worried about that.
Okay.
The biggest thing that I needed to see was you here in each of the classes, so that you got all the work done, so I can just kind of work on you. And last time, that's when we went, and so you guys are gonna work on me for an hour and a half, and I'm gonna work on you for an hour, okay? That's gonna be the requirement, so I can be like, okay, here's some things, okay, work on this, put your hands here, look at this, so that I can feel what's going on, and then you guys can also feel how I work on people.
No. Are we doing 2 hour-and-a-half
2
sessions
hour
on
and a half
you?
sessions on me,
Okay.
so
When are we supposed to be doing that?
whenever you want.
When you set it up.
I can actually, I'm gonna be up in Salt Lake.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, and I refer somebody to you, Norm.
well, good.
I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
What was that?
So I might just be calling you guys,
Yeah, that'd be
get
good.
an hour and a half on from you, an hour and a half on from you when I'm up there. Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm excited.
And that'll be easier than trying to work it all
Than
in.
trying to work
and
it in, yeah.
All this, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah. And even if, and here's, I'm not super stickler or anything like that, but, so if you do miss, like, I know you're not gonna be here Friday, there's an October class.
You realize
19th
that
and
you need a
20th,
weekend, right?
for you guys.
Oh, not for you? Oh,
Mine's the
okay.
12th and the 13th, the weekend before that. Yeah, I realize that.
Yeah.
In October.
In October, there's the
18th,
Mark
18th,
Mastery.
19th.
So if you want to make up that one, you're more than welcome to on a Friday or a Saturday, because you only need one. You made up yours, right?
I need to make up one.
You gotta make up one day, okay? And then in October, so we'll
You
just
said
figure it out.
12th and 13th October, is that Mark Master?
No, it's the 19th and 20th.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah. And if you miss any and you just can't make them up, then in the
What,
next
the Mark
apprenticeship.
class?
The Mart Mastery is the 19th and 20th.
But
And the
we're done.
apprenticeship class is the next weekend, the next
Okay.
Wednesday, Thursday, and
Yep,
Friday after
gotcha.
that. Yeah. And realistically, you know, if you happen to, we'll figure it out and not too worried. You guys are doing, in fact, Kathy's like, how are they doing? I'm like, they're doing really good. So as long as you get your hours, I'm more worried about hours in here, where I can see it, you know, where you guys can see me and where you can get worked on and I can get worked on by you. And I think that's what's gonna be the best, it's just one-on-one. That's what we kinda talked about last time. It's really the one-on-one that I think is gonna be the most beneficial. So that everybody just kinda gets that. So that's what we're doing. Okay, go to the bathroom. Get out of here. Then you can ask more questions as they come around. Like I said,
Little stiff?
Me? I have to stand up slow because my butt really hurts when I sit.
you get something to eat, get something to drink.
I'm enjoying this guava juice, thank you.
You're welcome.
That was so
Oh, there's more. Ooh, it's even
I'm still
cold.
working on it. That's my sentence. That was good.
That one's good. That black cherry,
This one?
really good.
What is this?
Oh, well, that's fun.
Just do a little shopping spree. So,
Alright.
you know.
How's Amazon?
Shoes, don't be alarmed.
As long as they're my wife's size and they get shipped to my wife's house, we're good. That's just cheese.
Oh, okay.
Mmm. Try that apricot nectar. That's good.
Oh, that, I'm still working on my guava one.
You mean that? The currants?
Yeah, that one's good.
Oh, okay.
Somebody gotta try the Vitarain Zero, see if it's any good.
So just like vitamin water? Except that one?
Mm-hmm. I didn't see that one, I thought it was
Yeah.
raspberry.
Vitamin water has stevia in it. It looks like this one has sucralose in it. Which is interesting. Because Costco usually does a better job.
Oh, that's not gonna be bad. Green tea, there's no caffeine in it, that's nice.
I don't know, sometimes I really like that green, caffeine.
Natural tea flavors, magnesium, lactate,
What flavor is that? Maybe that's in here.
black.
The dragon fruit? Or yes, I. Oh?
Try that one. Raspberry green tea.
Okay.
Oh, I'll try that. Rachel, will you start the music? Yeah, just in the room.
He's getting in trouble, somebody.
Oh, it's cold in here. Goodness, how much? Did you guys try to get together?
Oh, nice. Little shop.
And you drove down this morning? Oh, no.
Last night.
Well, you said something about 5:30, so I thought, did you guys drive this morning?
No, I've been awake since 5:30.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was dreaming this morning that we had gone home and we had to drive back to St. George this morning. That was kind of dumb. Why did we do that?
Because I forgot the toothpaste.
Because you forgot the toothpaste, so you gotta go back home.
That was it.
That was it.
You don't want to forget the toothpaste.
I forgot my toothpaste.
It just,
I keep
it's
using hers.
swimming in my head.
But secretly, you're resenting my use of your toothpaste here, Lisa. Is that what's going on?
No, it was just exploding in my head.
Hey, Alana. This is Sylvia. Would you do me a favor? I need to get a phone number for one of my clients, to see if he wants to come in to be worked on at the seminar I'm at. It is John Shepherd.
Those are good too, huh?
Jared, what's your phone number, Jared? I can't find mine.
435
Uh-huh.
313 5273. I should just talk to Rachel.
Anyway, yeah, you could get me his phone number really quick. Oh, that's the card.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick you in with Josh. Okay, I'm
Okay.
gonna run to the restroom, so when he gets in here, send him
Okay.
in there, everybody else just, oh, we need a bolster in here. I will use Myrna's, she brought her bolster.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, that was handy for you. Yeah.
Talk to
Actually,
you later,
keep that
okay?
one in there too.
Okay.
And we're gonna need bolsters.
You too.
Yes.
Bye-bye. Oh, I love this song. I listen to this all the time at work. Hey, John, this is Sylvia, your massage therapist. How are you doing? Have you got just a minute? Okay, I am in a seminar for the next couple of days for my apprenticeship and a specific technique I'm learning. And I talked to Jared about the tinnitus, the ringing in your ears. And he wondered if you would be interested in, coming in to be worked on here at this seminar, and we'll see if we can't figure that out and get you some relief. He thinks it's all muscle related. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's fine. There's openings on Friday. You know what, I'll have to have you call the receptionist here and set that up with her, because she's the one doing that. I don't know times. Okay.
How you doing, buddy? Doing all right. Where are you working at?
The way it works is it's clients that come in to be worked on, and it's $65 for it's an hour and 15 minutes. That you're
Good here.
Okay. Okay, well, hey, thanks so much. We'll see you on Friday. All right, bye-bye.
Where'd you go?
Well, I was, working a lot of hours there. Most of my hours were there. And what were you doing this office?
I just couldn't get any clients. That's the thing, like they had a push for massage, and that was kind of like when I was starting to get into it. But like the people that were working full time over there, they were the ones that were always getting clients. And so I wasn't, because I only worked like 2 shifts a week doing it, hoping to build up, but it just never, I would get.
Okay, how do I do a text without actually having to
So I
put
just-
them in
so I
my
picked up, so
phone?
I'm gonna be on Friday and Saturday.
How do you do in touch
So I
without what?
worked in, like,
I just want to text.
the number.
65 hours.
I'm sorry, what?
Just enter the number. Just go to the right text and enter the number up in the.
Oh, right there.
I just put it in.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to put your name.
In 4 days of work, well, I was making, like, almost a month's worth at the chiropractor's office. At the chiropractor? Or, so I get paid 18 an hour plus tips. So, yeah, usually if you're new, I think they start you at 16, but since I had my license.
Okay, I still don't know.
And everything, they're just like, yeah, we'll start you out
Okay.
higher. So 18 an hour, and then I usually.
Do you have clients when you go in, or do you sit there and you still get paid?
So it's, you get paid as you work. So if you're sitting around, you don't get paid.
So per client?
Per client, they fill your schedule.
Yeah, that's what's nice.
Yeah.
You're gonna get work on. I mean, you're gonna get
Oh,
work.
yeah.
So have you had people request you yet? Like,
Yeah, I've got a few people that are coming back every month and stuff, so that's been cool. But yeah, so it's been good to work there, and it's, yeah, no, I've noticed it, like, 'cause when I started, like, technique was crap, and I hurt a lot. And so it's helped, it's almost being able to figure out things like everything you want with fingers. Yeah, so it's good.
And that's just something that you just, when you finally go, I'm getting tired, I gotta start doing other stuff.
Yeah.
That's when you start being like, oh, well, if I could lean on you for a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, there.
So I was getting worried for a while, I'm like, I can't be doing this. And then I ended up injuring my back, and then, so I ended up taking a few weeks off, and then I came back in and started making those shifts and everything.
Good.
Saw a
Good.
difference.
Good. Well, there's a huge difference later on.
Where does he say he's working?
Isn't it misogyny?
I work in the sun, yeah.
Well, I gotta find a different place. This gal that I'm working for, this is a relatively new business she started.
Which one?
The Healing Home, but I just don't feel like she's promoting it very well.
Gotcha.
That's why I'm not, neither one of us, me and the other gal that are working there. I mean, she's staying busy, you know, the owner,
Yeah.
but the other gal and I certainly are. It's been frustrating.
Where's that one at?
10 Diagonal.
Let's turn down here. Cause I know there's a place looking for therapy, at least they were, it's over by, you know that office building over by Honolulu Grill and Little Caesars on 700 South?
Oh, yeah, I know where you're talking about, high vibrations.
That's the one,
Yeah,
yeah. I know.
Nancy Julian, she taught our cranial sacral
Oh,
class
really?
at school.
Yeah, okay, no, that's right,
So I met her.
she did say that she was doing that, cause I went in there to check it out and everything, and they're like, oh, you're a massage therapist, are you looking for a job? I'm like, not really. They're like, okay, well, here's an application anyway. I'm just like, all right.
Yeah, she's kind of, she is a character. She's
Yes,
so
no,
funny.
yeah. So, is she the shorter gal?
No,
Or
she's
she
the
was the taller with the
curly.
blonde, yeah, the
Uh-huh.
blonde hair, or maybe it was blonde, I can't remember. I haven't
And
seen
the
her
other
for a
gal is Nancy,
Yeah, I can't remember the name. She's shorter, has dark hair.
yeah. Yes, Nancy.
Short, dark hair.
But yeah, maybe I will check
No.
that one out because
So
I gotta
that's
have some work.
that's good. The thing I like about Massage Envy, and like it kind of sucks just because like it depends on what techniques you use, because
It
it's a,
depends upon what they use?
no, it depends on what kind of techniques you use and want to use,
Oh, okay.
because they're a corporation. You
Yeah,
know, they're a chain, and so they don't allow, so like if you're, especially if you're heavily, if you are focusing on energy work, you don't want to do Massage Envy, just because there's some things you can kind of do and get away with, but most of it, no, you can't. So if that's what you're
so
focusing
those
on.
are just the basic,
Yeah, essentially, I mean, like you're able to, like I'm able to do this, like just because
Yeah.
I can kind of pass it off as deep tissue or whatever else, and so that's fine. I do myofascial as well, and I can do it. It's technically not one of their like, they have like an approved list of massage types. And then they said like you can use other ones, but here's ones that you can't use. Like so, like there's like no Rolfing and no
Yeah.
Reiki. A lot of stuff that would cause a lot of pain, or that it has any relation to energy work directly. I mean, like obviously, I think massage is always kind of
so,
related to it, but
oh
but
my word, my brain is not working today.
they, as far, because they're almost always looking for therapists at Massage Envy. like we've always, you know, there's always, we can always fill in more. Right now it's slower, but apparently when August kicks in, it starts getting really busy, and they're very flexible and
I talked
working with
to
you, getting your hours and stuff.
one of the guys I went to school with, and he's working at St. George Massage.
Uh-huh.
He says the guy's a little bit hard to work for, because he'll say one thing and do something different.
That's what I've heard. I've had a couple
But-
people that have worked over with him as well.
But he says, they keep telling me it's the slow season, but he's doing 12 to 14 massages a week,
Oh,
so, I thought, well, that's not
It's
bad
not, it's not terrible.
for slow.
No, yeah, I've been doing, cause I cut down my shift hours just because doing 8 hours of massage a day was killing me.
Yeah,
Especially if you do that every day, yeah, that's.
Yeah, so I do 6 to 7 hour shifts with usually a 30 to 60 minute break. And that's been great, so it's been really nice, cause like I had my schedule set up so that I could work it around my other work schedule, where when I was doing the chiropractors. And then I quit the chiropractors, it's been really
Who's working with
slow.
Josh?
That would be this guy.
Jerry.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. But yeah, so I quit the chiropractors, and then I tried to pick up some hours. They gave me a little bit more, but that wasn't enough because it's just so slow. So, but then starting, because I'm actually going back to school on Monday.
oh, you are?
Wow. It's starting Monday?
It's a technical college,
Oh, okay.
so their program's starting February and August.
What are you studying?
IT,
Cool.
yep. So.
Smart business nowadays.
Yeah, so, and it's something I've always been, it's something I've always been interested in, and I didn't realize this at first, but my parents tried to kind of steer me away from it when I was a kid. I was always really interested, and they were fine with me taking classes, but outside of school, they didn't really want me having anything to do with computers or
Why?
things like that. They're like, we don't want you inside, go out and play, go out and
Don't be on
do
the
sports.
screen, don't be on the screen.
Yeah.
Because I was,
Yeah.
all my brothers and sisters, they always love being outside. They always love doing outdoor things and stuff. And like, I like to do it, but I liked technology more. I liked learning that stuff. And it's funny though, because now I'm the honorary IT guy. Anytime anything happens in our family, they're like, "Can you come fix this?" And I'm like, and I don't even like. This is all self-taught stuff.
Yeah,
So I'm like, well, like I like to do it, and finally my fiance is like, you always talk about it, you're good at it, why don't you just go to school, get certified, and you can do it as a job.
Smart, yeah,
there you
So I'm
go.
like, might as well, and then like my Pell Grant completely covered it.
nice.
Yeah,
So I'm just
nice.
like, yeah, so it's gonna be crazy, I'm gonna be I work 5 hours in the morning, and then I go to school, and do school for 6 hours in the afternoon and evening, 4 days a week,
And newly married, yeah, that's crazy.
so it's gonna be crazy.
Newly married's nicer than engaged though, honestly, when you're
Yeah.
doing stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe that. So yeah, and then I'm looking at getting a house too, so that's
Wow.
Where at?
possibly, well, I don't know, so I've just got some family in real estate, and so apparently I'm looking into it, I'm not like, I'm thinking about whether it's gonna happen.
Hey, will you guys get working on each other? Let's go.
Who wants to work on me?
Our mental well-being here.
Let's go.
We were visiting.
Now I'm stressed.
Isn't that supposed to like one more person?
That's what I thought. I thought he said there
There's-
was two.
They said
There's
2 canceled.
two, so there should be
Oh,
3
two
people.
canceled?
2 canceled. So there's the one coming in now, so we just split up to work on
Oh,
each
I
other.
thought he said one more. There were
Oh,
two
so there's 3 coming in at a time,
Yeah, me
but
too.
2 of them can't, okay, that makes sense.
Alright.
Does someone wanna work on me?
I just heard
Cause
short
I'm-
too.
Oh, where do we wanna do that? You wanna go in the other
Do
room?
you want to get work
Yeah.
done? Do you want
You
to
want-
practice something? What do you want to do?
What? What's that?
Okay.
I think even an hour would work.
Oh, wait, let me see which table she took.
Yeah.
I was like, we can just jump on this table, but if they're coming in here, then. Just use this room, the table's shorter.
Oh, you want on first?
Didn't you just say you needed somewhere?
I do.
I think we all do. I need it too, so we'll just take turns each other on. This is still. There is still a red light.
Josh, if you want the 5 to 6, What are you gonna work on you today?
Soon he comes back.
And did we even record any of that with Jerry? Or was it all angled here?
Nope, go ahead, take a look. Okay.
Oh, nice. I feel like I was standing in front of the camera the whole time. Oops, I didn't realize it was on. Guess we need to be more aware of that. Oh, what do you have going on? What do you want? Hmm? So what do you have going on? What do you want work time? Go back.
Yeah, driving. I was sitting on the balls. Driving. Because I drove up to 8 hours that car to Idaho. And then next day came back another 8 hours. Last week and then the week before. Okay, love driving. Can we turn off the recording?
I feel like we were kind of standing in front of it when we were working on Jerry. I don't know how much you got of Jerry.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh, watch toes, watch toes. Okay. So normally, on a normal type person, you're gonna come,
Does
so
anybody
the
hear normal?
levator scapula hits right here. Now, if their traps are loose and you can just get to it that way, that's fine. Her levator scapula is sitting right there. But what's happening is the trap muscles are just as tight. So usually if you follow, her collarbone is right here. Okay, collarbone's right there. Now if you get just on the edge of the collarbone, you can feel the trap muscle where it attaches to, right there. Then your fingers fit nicely right there, and all you got to do is push in and go up, and you're right on that levator scapula. And you can feel it because as it rolls, you can feel, especially when you roll it forward, you should be able to feel the levator scapula roll up on it. On hers, it's different. Her trap muscles have curled, but they've curled like that. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm going to come in from this angle here. So there's where the trap is. That is so crazy funny that that's right there. So you're going to go in and you're going to lift that up, and it's right there. Okay, so here, if you guys want to come feel, here's the trap. That whole muscle group right there is the trap. I'll just hold it right there, and you can feel that whole trap. Okay, so I've just pushed the whole trap muscle up.
Nice traps.
Feel that? Okay. For where the edge is. So the edge is sitting right on my finger. So underneath that is the levator scapula. Okay? So now, how to do that, and are we still good with?
Yeah, we're right on, yep.
So, usually, I will be sitting in front, okay, but I'm just showing you how to do it from a side angle.
Okay.
So I'm here, right on that levator scapula. So I'm going to hold this open for you to see. In fact, I'll hold it just like that. So I'm on the levator scapula. Now with the arm, a lot of times, they're going to be here with their arm back here. Once you find that, bring it down, and you should feel, can you feel that, Amy? That whole shoulder wants to move down, but it's not. It's shifting. In fact, what it'll do is it'll shift down and then suck up. That's what it'll feel like. Now all I'm doing is I've got to figure out, majority of time, like I said, on this side, it's going to be the movement of the arm. Feel that right there, Amy?
Uh-huh.
Okay, and you don't have to bring it up. There's a couple different reasons why you bring it up. But right here, you're just going to roll it and let it roll back. There she is. She just sucked me down. It just dropped me in on it. There you go. There you go. Okay, so what just happened is the levator scapula just unsucked itself from the trap. It just went and then dropped my fingers in. Okay, now you got to be a little bit more patient. Once it does that, then grab it and make it pull this way. Now you can see how much more it dropped me in. I'm way in there now, okay? And that's where you want. Now this is where you got to keep that pressure, because as you bring it back, that shoulder is going to want to try and push. It's going to try and push back. There it goes. Okay, do you feel that? There you go. Now what happens is when I get to this point, when I brought her arm back, so here the shoulder blade dropped down and out finally. Now the cool part is when I actually bring it back this way, it'll squish up and then retract back down into its place. And that's what it's doing right now. Coming down. Can you feel how it's, yeah, see now, it's not even moving. So how does that pain feel now?
That's a lot less.
A lot less, okay? So then I'll test it down this way, up this way, and you can actually feel, so where my middle finger is, usually that's where that finger goes, okay? But I'm just kind of showing you how, yeah. So now you just kind of push it back, just like that, but you can see where I'm at on my fingers, way in there. And all this is the trap muscle. So now if you can test it too, if you want to just kind of move the head this way, we're like, yeah, we're good. There's not even a pulling, but there. So then after this, you get that, then you can come out. See how much softer that is right there? Now, what I would do is I'd make sure that that trap muscle doesn't have a knot, and that's when I'd come and do this, and do the exact same motion.
Would you release the traps first?
It depends, 50-50. Like I said, if they have headaches, you know, if there's headaches, migraines, if you're working on something like this and they're just like, oh, they can't relax, I just go in and get that. I don't even mess with it anymore.
So did that uncurl the trap?
That uncurled the trap.
Cool.
Yeah. So now you guys can come and you really can't even find where the trap is.
Yeah, you can't, it looks so much better.
I just, yeah. That's what's nice, is I used to try and release the levator scapula through the trap, and it would take me all session just to do that. But what I found is the knot, the trapezius generally is protecting the levator scapula. Once I got the levator scapula and came out, people were like, oh, it feels so good. And I'm like, hey, that's nice. And stuff like that, you know, can affect the head, where like the rhomboids and everything that was over here, that was going to her jaw. How does that feel?
This is really good.
You guys want to see it again? Want me to do it on this side?
Sure.
Want to see it again?
Yeah.
Hold on, let's just make sure. Yeah, there's your trap. Oh, okay, we'll do it on that side. Okay, move that camera. Well, actually, it should just be,
Might be really close there.
might be good.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. So I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to show you in real time how I get into it. I'll talk. I always talk.
You can't help yourself.
I can't help. No, it's true. It's true. I'll have clients that they are falling asleep, and I can tell that they're snoring, and I'm like, all right, so what are you doing? And I'm like, and they're like, what? I did it yesterday. Remember with Valerie? Did it yesterday. I was going to let her fall asleep, but I'm
Yeah.
like, okay. So I'm just feeling around. She's got the same thing on this side.
That's what causes them to do that.
Just lost life. Is what it is.
Now, with that on that side, that would be a separate issue of the rhomboids and the traps and everything that we want.
It would be a separate issue, but it could be this, and that's why everything was so tight. Okay?
Okay.
Alright. So I'm just gonna show you guys. So what I'll do is I just go in and I feel where that trap muscle is curled. And she's kind of jack up there. There. Now, sometimes if it's really tough, I will actually get some lotion so I can slide onto it. Okay, so I'm on that levator scapula, okay? You guys can see the trap muscle sits right there, and there's the edge of it. Okay, so I'm underneath it. Now, I'm gonna bring this down. And her shoulder blade didn't even move. So now we're just gonna kinda, and all I'm doing on this is I'm doing this to stretch it. And then when it comes back, it's gonna try and cramp. Now,
It's releasing other
no, you're
things.
good, you're good, that's totally fine. So, I'd sit down in a chair, and if you try and do it like this, you're gonna get really tired. So just rest that elbow right up against the knee or something like that. Then you can just sit here all day long. Yeah. See, and even when she breathes, those scaling muscles that I'm feeling on the back of my hands, they're contracting. They're trying to get away. There it is. Did you feel that spasm? Okay. So what just spasmed the trap muscle? Look how that just softened. Okay. Feel it like that's a lot softer now. That just spasmed loose. But that's not what I'm getting. There goes the other trap. There's the levator. Just kind of moved around. This one's stuck. Is this radiating anywhere?
My tongue.
Your tongue. All right.
That's interesting.
That's
It's
interesting.
making me
Okay.
salivate really bad. Like I'm gonna have a puddle of drool on the floor.
See, that's what I'm talking about. This is what I'm finding. Things that I've been doing for years, like it's tongue, it's eyes, it's
It's also in my hand.
yeah. Okay. So now what's going to happen is somebody's going to come in and they'll be like, "Have you ever dealt with tongue issues?" I'll be like, "Yep, I know exactly where it is." Sit down, let's go for it. There we go. Spasmodic tongue. There we go. There's spasmodic dysphonia. Pop goes. Okay, so that just dropped me in. And now I'm going to take this arm and I'm going to contract. There it went. Did you feel it go up? Now that one actually didn't drop on my hand. It actually spasmed and shot up to her neck. And then the whole thing just let go.
It was making my arm go numb there,
Hmm.
down to my elbow.
Yeah. How does that feel now? You should have kind of warmth and
A
tingling
little
now.
bit, it still feels weird along my
Okay.
tricep. But,
Yeah, right through here.
Okay.
So now we just come out,
It still feels like you're stabbing me in the neck.
probably because my nail.
Yeah, that feels better.
That feels better. So now, see that difference? So what was happening is while I was on that levator scapula, that trap muscles was actually firing and letting go. And so if you want to, then you just kind of come in here and get that trap. But then, you know, if she has headaches, I would slide her down, flip her over, and then I'd work kind of that same area. In fact, let's have you slide down and turn over. Maybe. How's the tongue?
It's mostly just kind of funny and really lots of saliva coming.
Good.
We
We like lots of saliva.
floor.
Lots of saliva.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay, so now how to get into it on this side is you're gonna actually have them turn their head, yeah, like this. And it's gonna be really interesting because she's so loose now. But you find that trap muscle, and instead of, so on the back side I came out and opened it up this way, you don't need to. You just, now you can find the actual shoulder blade and the levator scapula sits right there.
Yep, you found it.
So it's right here, and now you use the neck. And so when that neck comes back, it just folds right on it. And then to move the shoulder blade, if you want to feel it, you actually can kind of, there we go, bam. Okay, now, what it did is it just dropped me underneath the shoulder blade. So now her neck won't even turn that way. Did you guys see that? Bam, bam. That spasmed, the backside spasmed, and now look at that. I brought it back this way and it went, she swallowed and the whole thing went just like that. Boom, boom. Did you
Yeah.
feel that, Amy?
And then she's gotten nice and red.
Now she's gotten nice and red.
Oh, you're so cute.
Oh,
She's
thanks.
probably a little lightheaded too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just gonna check. There it went. Chin, meet shoulder. Shoulder, meet chin. Yeah.
Someone's gonna be sleeping well tonight.
Oh, man, that'll be awesome.